Hello. I'm just coming to talk to you today about some things that have really been pressing in on me and what the spiritual world has been showing me just overall and then through my own walk and my own journey. And some of the things that have been happening as I've been really coming into contact with the Holy Spirit and just spending a lot of time alone and learning more about myself, learning the things that I like and the things that I don't like. And anytime that I have a message to come across or a message to put out or things that I'm trying to accomplish on my own journey, like schoolwork or different electronics, so putting my creative content out on social media or making videos or even getting phone calls, text messages, anything digital, anything electronic. And those things seem to go awry the most when the Holy Spirit is the most powerful in my life. And I can really feel it moving. And I'm really expecting some big promises to come to pass. And I'm staying focused on my goals, and I'm staying focused on the vision, and I'm staying focused on the work that I'm doing. And as many of you have experienced, and some of you haven't, and that's why I'm here to help understand part of the process in the spiritual world on how, from the time of birth, everything that we come into contact with in this world is made to squash us down and is made to keep us from our potential higher self. Everything in this world, everything in the spiritual world, okay, is trying to lift us up and help us to become our best self. And so as we grow and we learn, we are told from the time of birth what to think, what to believe, what teams to celebrate, the people that we're going to like, the kind of people that we like, the things that we do tolerate and don't tolerate, all the way down to the colors that we like. If you look at the neighborhoods, all the houses are the same and the cars are the same, and everybody competes to have the best yard and they compete to have the best things. And so in that, all that indoctrination is formed from birth. Okay, our financial security, the way that we view money, and our relationship with money, our relationship with bills, our relationship with other things in our life are all set through how we view and experience our parents and our family and the different perceptions and the people around us on the things that they go through and how they react and how they deal with it and how they accomplish their goals. And so all this indoctrination is formed from the time of birth. And as we go through life, we learn different programming through society, what is acceptable and what isn't acceptable. And through that, that is how our personality is shaped, that is how our beliefs are shaped, and that is how everything that we come to be in this current moment is created. And some of us have wonderful lives and we've done everything exactly the way that we're supposed to. And others have gone through the hard part and the hard ways and experienced unfortunate events. And some of it is not even of our own doing, but because of the things that we accept and the things that we tolerate and the indoctrination that we believe in, it's put us in that moment, in that timing. And if we're going through hardships, it's because we're learning lessons. We're supposed to learn something from that event that is giving us that lesson. And so we have to figure out what that is and what the silver lining is. But more so, when you're finally doing everything you're supposed to be doing, and you've done the research, and you've found the tools that you know work, through process of elimination and through trial and error and through trying to find different ways to heal yourself and the pain that is within you from all of the trauma and the indoctrination and learning to change your programming. Because all of the programming that we have is now subconscious because it's been programmed for so long. They're now core programming moments, core programming processes. Okay, and so that is something that we create in our energy now. And in order to change that energy movement on the flow that we're accepting, which has brought us to our point, you have to change your subconscious thought process. And so when you go through and you start applying all these tools to change your subconscious thought process, like meditation, mantras, affirmations, exercise, eating healthier, choosing different foods, because we all know the foods that we are being served, that we pay good money for, higher prices, even double the amount now than we did even 2-3 years ago. All of those things, what they are called nanoparticles, okay, that are in our systems. And those create parasites in our systems. And so you begin to pick healthier choices and you start to eat healthier. And all of that is so overwhelming to be able to implement. And so you just take it a little bit at a time, and you process a little bit at a time, and you grow a little bit at a time. And as you grow, you become stronger. And then you start to form your path. And once you start to get on that path, then different things are going to rise against you. Some things are going to rise against you to see if that's what you really want. Other things are going to rise against you to teach you lessons to progress you on your journey. Because when we are asking for that change and we're wanting that change and you're seeking that change, we live in a fast food world, so we want it all now. So if you're someone like me, you're constantly on the progressive seeking path of finding what is going to make you whole and what is going to bring you the changes that you're seeking and what is going to bring you the abundance and the promises that were put inside of you from a child. And so things will come up against you. You will walk into places and just simply irritate people. Different trials and errors are going to come into your life to try and keep you, and they're going to try and draw back your momentum and lessen the momentum that you have in changing that energy. Because in every single person that I've been working with and every single person that I've seen, everybody is progressing. And then they start to give up once that old pattern starts to come back in. But what they don't realize is you just have to push back harder and you have to keep getting up, whether you can barely walk. And you have to keep doing the things that you know that you're doing and keep pushing back on that energy, because that's what changes the momentum. And it's usually in those times where you can't stand the binaural frequencies and when you can't stand the mantras and when you can't stand all of that stuff, that you should be pushing it more, because that's how you change that hardcore program. That's something inside of you and the indoctrination inside of you and your programming that's trying to reject the new programming. And so that's when I play it more. That's when I play it louder. That's when I spend more time doing one-on-one work, like I have been. And so all these different things will start happening lately. My phone, I've had, just since January, I've had 4 brand new phones. And all of them keep doing the same thing. I keep having to cash in my insurance on these phones. But they get to the point where they just stop working, where I don't get internet access, and I have full coverage. I even have a booster hotspot, for the hotspot, but all this electronic stuff starts to go awry. And I won't have internet when I'm getting ready to go post this stuff online or something. And so that is literally the fabric of that part of the universe that tries to hold you back and keep you down, because it doesn't want the truth out and it doesn't want the people around you to reach those new levels. Okay, and so that's the frequencies that you, in the negativity and all of the downgrade quantum particle field, okay, that you have to change the momentum in. And as you start to change the momentum, those things will become less and less. It's starting to get pretty hot out here this morning. I'm starting to sweat a little bit. So the past few days I've been wanting to come on and bring a message, whether I've been out on the lake or whether I've been out hiking or whether, I've just been sitting in solitude and either my phone has been dead. I've not been able to charge my phone 100% for the past 2 weeks. And either it's been at like 5% or 20% and it just won't charge. Right now it's at 70 some percent. And so the digital world and the electronic world is just completely, trying to cut me off. And so how I take that is I take that time back in my solitude. I don't get frustrated that I can't get my message out, and I don't allow that to trigger me. Because what does that do? Create more negative momentum. And so as we learn to just roll with the punches, those things become less and less. If we can start laughing at those circumstances, like, oh, okay, here we go, those things will become less and less. And that's how you become into the surrender of the universe. And then that flow becomes more and more. And it takes practice and it takes time. And you're going to have to go through all of those trials until the momentum becomes less and less. And each time you react appropriately, then all of that momentum becomes less and less. Whether it be driving in slow traffic, that's been the big test for me. Whether it be, trying to quit something that isn't healthy for you, like fast food, or whether you're just getting processed meat. Because if you're buying any of the processed meat that Walmart provides, or any of the big brands, you're getting all of those nanoparticles in your system. And that's a guarantee. But there are different, and it's patented. It's patented. And so all of that, what that does is it causes you to have parasites in your body, and it causes the heavy metals to start to build up in your system, and then you start to have the brain fog and the headaches and, the stomach problems. I've been fighting this ear infection since the beginning of July. I had gotten rid of it, went to the ocean, got it back, started getting rid of it again, and so it's just been a constant fight. And so I've really been forced to delve into the natural therapies from herbal plants and different things that heal us naturally, and that stuff is working. That's the stuff that's working the most, because I don't like going to doctors. Our medical field is broken. Our medical system is broken. If we could have the medical system where you pay so much a month like you do for insurance and it covers everything, like all your doctor's visits, all your surgery, your fitness program, your nutrition program, any home visits that the doctor needs to do if you get sick. If you get cancer, it covers all of that stuff. That's the kind of medical model that we need, because then that is a healthy model. That is, you're literally paying for a home fitness every 24 hours a day. You have access to a gym, pools, surgery. It covers dental. It covers everything. And there's more and more doctors' offices that are doing this medical model to help promote healthy medical model. Okay, but I don't go to doctors unless I'm bleeding or dying. So I read on all this stuff, all of the different things. I find out all the side effects, and then I start applying these things. And as I've gone along my journey, God has brought me to different people that are further along in this process than me. And as I look down, you guys hear me preaching, you guys hear me teaching, you guys hear me experiencing things and sharing my testimony to people that are not quite where I am in this field. Well, now God has put me into the path of people that are further along than me, that are in my personal life, that are going out and doing the natural remedies, and they know how to make the tinctures, and they know how to apply all this stuff. So as I begin to get to know these people and connect, I'm starting to learn all these things and how to apply them. So, and it's extremely important that people start to tune into not just their physical body, but their mental capacity and their capacity in a spiritual world. Because we are a spirit with a body, not a body with a spirit. So once we leave these bodies, and this is the temple that we have here on earth, our body is the temple. Once we leave these bodies, then we go on. So it's very important that we, that we acclimate here on this earth, and that is what it is meant to do. It's meant to give us the physical experience of acclimation. And as you grow, you're going to have different things come and try and keep you set back on that path that you were on. And the whole point of it is to become back to your innocence, back to the time before the indoctrination got to you, before you were shamed for feeling a certain way, before you were excited to share whatever it was that you found in the dirt, before you were shamed to society's standards of religion and what freedom's supposed to be. You're supposed to get back to that childlike mind of innocence and purity and wholeness, of believing the best in people and thinking the best in people, seeing the best in people. Every single one of us. I mean, could you imagine if we were all in that childlike mind? In the positive. I'm not talking about the kids that went through abuse, that had that trauma at a very early age that made them be more anger prone, as a go-to, because that's all part of early trauma and indoctrination, which I, suffered from, and so my go-to was, snarly. I remember when I was, I don't know, probably maybe 2, 3, and we were sitting in my mom's Nova, and we went to go pick my grandma's friend up from the airport, and she was visiting. And we were just moved to Colorado Springs, so I had to have been just older than 2. And I didn't talk very much. They wondered if I was ever going to be able to talk, because my brother always answered for me. But, everybody always used to compliment me on my eyes and, what a cute little kid I was. And so this lady gets in the car and she says, "Oh, you're just the cutest little baby. Look at those pretty little eyes." And my response was, "Shut up." And of course I got backhanded, because back then you didn't speak to your elders that way. And then of course it was like, oh my gosh. But that was already a part of my programming at that time, because that was the environment that I was living in, and therefore I was reflecting that environment. But I can still remember at that young age of innocence and believing the best in people and seeing the best in people and knowing inside of me that it was built to change the world and to be able to share these things with you. And a lot of the people that I talk to now are starting to understand these concepts more and more, and it's really inspiring to me when I see other people starting to apply these things, and it motivates me more on my path to stay tuned in, tapped in, and turned on to my God frequency. But the world around you is going to try and stop you from that. The people that are not connected, the people that are still living in the 2D and 3D world, and you see it every single place you go. And those are the people that you have the conversations with, about, the chemtrails and whether or not they're real, and all of the things that we learn